Right, this is a video for a Honda CR-V. This is a 2.2 EX diesel. The car is registered SO57ADV, and the mileage at the start of this brief road test is 47,442 miles. The reason we do these road tests is basically we're selling to customers now from all over the near continent and the extremes of the UK. And we just want to make sure that if someone's come to see us and the car, that they get to see the car in operation prior to coming. So if there's anything I need to report back to you on this test drive, then I can do so. Clearly this car's been very, very well looked after by the Honda dealers. And so, you know, I'm not expecting a huge amount, certainly given what the driver just told me after an hour and a half's driving to us. It seems like a very good car indeed, but I will do my best for you. Engine of the car, stationary now, idling absolutely rock steady, and we're looking at just over 800 RPM. Clutch in, clutch out. The noise on the engine's exactly the same. There's no variance in that. There's no vibrations. Engine pulls very, very sweetly indeed. It's a brilliant engine anyway, but more about that later. But it pulls through the rev range very well indeed. Loads and loads of oomph to it. As you'd expect, given such a sort of a low mileage example. Looking at the dashboard here now, there's no warning lights on the car relating to the engine or anything else. The engine then runs through, obviously, clutch and into the gearbox. Clutch on the car is very light and easy to operate, biting very, very well indeed, and the operation of it's very sort of slick and easy to use. It's not a hard car to drive. Honda do their mechanicals very well. It's got a nicely engineered feel, but it's not. Certainly doesn't tax you when you're driving the vehicle. The gearbox on the car is a brilliant gearbox. Again, a classic Honda affair. 6-speed gearbox, very short in the throw, so 4th to 5th there. Really simple. Just bring it back straight into 4th. It's just a lovely, easy gearbox to use, mounted up nice and high, so your hand falls very naturally to it, and I can't feel an ounce of wear in the gear shift or the quality of the gear shift at all. The synchro mesh on these is utterly brilliant. Even big mileage ones, we've never ever touched one of these gearboxes. It's a strong box, but even they can sort of exhibit sort of signs of wear, but realistically I can't feel anything at all through the gear lever. It's in really top order. So in terms of the powertrain, engine, gearbox and clutch, all's in very fine order indeed. Steering on the car, absolutely superb. It's a really nice setup. I've got one of the later 14 plate ones, which has got the new electronic power steering, which is very positive, very accurate, but I still prefer this conventional hydraulic setup. It's it gives the car a really nice heavy feel on the road, but obviously it's easy and light with the power steering to maneuver. But it just feels really well done. There's not a hint of wear in the steering. I just cannot feel. Look again, when I drive these cars, as I do on my other videos, I'm looking out for just signs a little bit of kind of wear and tear, where it's perfectly safe, but it just has more of a feel that they might have a little bit of sort of track rods might have a bit of wear in them, or ball joints, but there's just nothing. It drives beautifully. Likewise, the suspension on the car, they're a very nice riding car, very comfortable indeed. And as I drive along again, I'm just looking out for the signs of wear that, a little bit more than there possibly should be. And, I can report back that there's nothing at all. It rides absolutely beautifully. You can hear it going over bumps, but what I'm not getting is kind of those secondary noises where you get a little bit of chatter, notably from things like kind of anti-roll bar links or suspension mounts, the top mounts, bottom mounts, and various kind of bushes underneath the suspension. But it's a very tough car. We have hardly any issues with them, chassis, bodywork, or mechanicals. So that doesn't surprise me. And again, given its relative youth, it comes as no surprise. I'm going to give the brakes a sharp jab in a second, but I'll wait till I've turned right to do that. As I drive along, I'm also listening out for kind of wind noise that shouldn't really be there. So if you've got a badly fitted windscreen or sunroof, but again, the noise inside the car is exactly where I'd expect it to be on one of these vehicles. and it's not producing anything that so no whistles or sort of strange noises coming back through. I'm just going to give the brakes a little bit of a jab in a second when I'm in the straight. Yeah, that's a nice solid brake pedal, no pulsing on the brake pedal or graunching or grinding going on there. It's had a fairly recent MOT, so I expect it all to be in good order anyway. I'm going up this road here deliberately because it's such an appalling road surface. If there is any issues with the car, it tends to manifest itself immediately. So wash the screen, check the wipers, see what they're like. No, they're all good. Smeary wipers are a bit of a pet hate of mine. And in a second I'll check the cruise control and various other functions when I'm on a slightly straighter road. But they are great cars. I've had too many. I've lost count of the number of CRVs I've had now. So I do know them like the back of my hand, and if there's one that feels a bit tired, I just simply won't buy it. It's just a sign of kind of shoddy ownership, or maybe it's been up and down farm tracks, and even Honda can't defy the laws of physics. But this, this feels exactly what I expect for a nice low mileage one. It's a really fine order. So what I can do is just get up to speed, and just going to check the cruise control. So activate it, press set, and that's all working perfectly. Slow down, speed up. That's absolutely spot on. Looking around inside the rest of the car, we've not valeted the car yet. It's only just come to us, but it's all in very, very nice condition, as you'd probably expect. We only really sell the EX versions. They're the ones that we find most customers want, because it's got all the specification you'd ever want on a car. But on this one, obviously you've got this lovely big screen sat-nav system, all fully functional. Rear parking camera works absolutely perfectly as well. But it's really nice, simple, high quality stuff, very easy to use. Press that button there and it gives you access to the CD player and the ROM drive for the sat-nav system as well. Coming down below, again, a beautifully simple and engineered air conditioning system, dual zone, so you can do it side to side, and the air conditioning is pumping out absolutely ice cold air coming out of these vents currently, so it's all in very, very fine order. Coming across the instrument binnacle here, classic Honda, big dominating dials, so you've got equal sized rev counter and speedo there. Temperature gauge at a third, which is exactly the temperature you want any Honda to be, and that's absolutely perfect. All the information display, pixelation's absolutely spot on. There's no scratches or marks on the dashboard at all that I can see on the binnacle there. Coming to the major controls, obviously auto lights and auto wipes on the EX versions as well. They all work perfectly. And then obviously you've got this multifunction steering wheel, so obviously, sorry, what I'm talking about. The audio controls top left, cruise control top right, which obviously we've checked there for you. Then you've got some voice activation controls and Bluetooth functions down there, if they're currently operative. But all, looking around inside the car, it's all in really, really lovely order. It's these cars do drive beautifully. I mean, to be honest with you, when most people are looking at a CRV, they tend to cross-shop them, with the obvious candidates, which will be things like sort of Nissan X-Trail, Toyota RAV4, BMW X3, VW, whatever it is. I don't know what the Tiguan, I think it's called, or something. Honda sort of developed a bit of a niche at this age of mileage, really, because all the problems that the Germans have had with electronics and mechanical stuff are now well known, and a lot of people are very, very wary of them, and quite rightly so. We've had a couple of X3s and Tiguans, and they've been utter disasters, mechanically and electrically. The X-Trail, again, suffers too many faults, drives beautifully, really, really nicely, but it's too many engine and other issues with them. The closest in terms of reliability will be the Toyota RAV4, which is a good car, a little bit blander than the CRV, certainly doesn't have as much space, so not quite as family friendly. Its engine's not as nice to use as the Honda, and you avoid the 180 raffles like the plague. They've got horrendous issues with them. The lesser powered one is good engine. It's it's nice and reliable. Just the odd injector problem at high miles, but the Hondas we have the odd problem from time to time. It's it's not an absolutely perfect car, but they are very few and far between. But on top of that, you're not just looking at a nice, reliable, worthy car that's dull as ditch water to drive. Looking at a car that's really, really nice to drive. It rides massively better than an X3. I'm sure if you took it up to our local race circuit, the Castle Combe, the X3 would go around it a couple of seconds quicker per lap, if that's what you really want to do with it. The reality is, though, in the real world of driving, other than on the smoothest A road or motorway, the X3 is an utter disaster. And I've had one, and I loved the look of it, and got rid of it within a couple of weeks. It was just every bump you felt, just like someone was hammering at your spine. The VW, unfortunately, is just too unreliable and too small by comparison to this as well. I said the others, there are other little issues, but the Honda just pretty much has everything you could really want in a car. It drives beautifully, handles these roads really well. There's very little pitch and wallow. This next corner is a horrible corner because it's an adverse camber. If I go through it a little bit quicker than I ordinarily would, just pitch it in, hold its line absolutely beautifully. No fuss, no drama. So if you've got kids in the back, they're not being thrown about all over the place and depositing what's inside them out of them. But no, it's a really lovely car. If there's anything I missed out in this test drive, don't hesitate to call. But based on what I've experienced on my drive of the vehicle, I can wholeheartedly recommend it. And I do look for faults on them. I have picked up on the odd fault now and again. So don't think I'm just doing this and just glossing over stuff. The car drives every bit as well as I said, and that's kind of why I do it. So it gives me an idea of I can always report anything back to our mechanic. But as I said, if we've missed anything, do give us a call, and we'd be happy to come back to you.